Morning, Roger, Artem, Damath, Alan, Andrew, Nick. What's up, Joseph? Jimmer. Hey, Amanda. Fred. Hey, man. Oh, I got too close. I think the camera turned off. Yeah, that's what happens. Hey, are you in there? So good morning, everybody. Hey, let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results, but please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Hi, my name is Wayne. I trade currencies, been doing it a long time. How about you? Want to hang out for a while? Awesome. Hey, we do these strategy sessions every day, 7:30 in the morning. Thank you for being here at Forex.Today. Monday through Thursday. Yep. We're here. Today's Wednesday. It's an oil inventory day. Yeah, but it could be overshadowed by this Fed thing this afternoon. The FOMC is going to decide to not do anything, but if they do something, it's going to be a shock. But the odds are pretty low at that. And then, of course, every Friday I do a similar session at fxstreet.com for premium members. I'm also the Forex Speaker of the Year at fxstreet.com. So thank you for being a client of TradersWay. I'm here to earn your loyalty. I'm here to teach you everything I've picked up over the blood, sweat, and tears for many years, with the overriding goal of helping you become successful as a foreign exchange trader. It's not a bad thing, huh? Yeah, we all live for something. I live for you, baby. That's right. So you're the boss, and I am your humble analyst, I guess you can call me, right? Strategy advisor. Guru extraordinaire. Yeah. Hey, you may have noticed a few changes on the website. Yep, we're upgrading the site to, I don't know what you want to call it, 2.0? 3.0? 2.0, I guess. As they say in Canada, it's the same, only different. It's the same, only different. Yeah, so right now where you're going to find the trading ideas from the analysts are right here. You just simply click on trades. And it seems very organized in the same fashion as before, but you might notice the website's lightning fast. So let's take a look at Daniel's post for today. Looks pretty to me. Thank you, Daniel. I'm going to have to like this because it's awesome. Thank you for liking this post. Okay, very nice, right? And see, I already left a comment. Thanks again. Right? Boom. How pretty. Isn't that pretty? Right? Don't you think that's pretty? I think it's pretty. So another thing you could do is like, hey, Kate makes some really nice posts every day. She outlines a technical and fundamental outlook for every major currency pair on the planet. So you can go over here and just follow her. Boom! Click that, and you're updated. Okay. I'm also working on things like the COT report is up and working again and beautifully laid out. Right? Isn't that nice? Oops. And it does update. Last I looked. I think it does. I'll have to double check. I think it does. Yeah. So anyways, it's nice and pretty. Working on some things. Okay. And the team page is working nice, so you can go and find the guys that are posting. So, like, take a look. There's Daniel. You can follow him. He's put up 45 trading ideas for you. Isn't that nice? So you can follow him so you're updated. If you like his posts, you'll be updated very quickly. And so all this got reset on the new launch the other day. But you noticed, or Daniel might notice, that it says address not available. That means under this new setup, he hasn't updated his profile. So you might say, well, how do you do that? So we have a dashboard that's integrated for all users, including yourself. Because one day I'd like you to make posts. And your posts will be organized here. And you'll see how many people have viewed your posts, how many people like, how many followers you have. Shows how many people you're following. Little overview. Okay, so what Daniel will need to do to update his profile is you go to profile settings and you can update it there. So one thing that you can do today, everybody can do today, is go to your profile. Just go to the top right, click right profile settings. It gets you to this page, and change your photo. You can put a little about yourself. You can put just So I have United States, and that comes up when you see where I'm from in the team page, and you're able to add your social network stuff if you want people to be able to see what you're doing in other places, and so on and so forth. And of course, you can keep track of who's following you, who you are following, the likes you're getting, and so on and so forth. So one person has liked something that I did today. Oh, these are things that I liked as well. So you can keep track of all your favorite posts. Isn't that nice? So just a little update. And of course, you're on the webinar page now. Oh. I noticed people are starting to leave comments and interact with each other on the activity page, which is nice. Looks like PJ and Marina are going through conversations, and also people are starting to use the forums. The forums are totally unorganized right now, but I'm going to work with you to develop a proper organizational structure for them. So it seems like a lot of people are using the forums as a place to put their own trade plans and stuff. That's one way to do it. Under this new site, what you're able to also do is just drag your screenshot right here. So for example, if I click it instead of dragging it, I can, let's say, do it this way. And then it's going to ask you, hey, name it, put it in the right category, give us your trade plan and thoughts, put a thumbnail on it, and some basic captions, and you're ready to go. So it looks same, but very different, much faster, much cleaner. Hope you like it. Yeah, on the activity, you can put screenshots there as well if you don't want to make a formal post, if you just want to share a quick trading idea and get feedback. Okay, you click the camera, add a file. Okay, so there it is there. See how, right? This is my test trading idea for today. What do you think? Oops, think. Okay. Okay, and there it is. So someone could leave a comment. And if, of course, they click on that, it blows up to a beautiful screenshot. Le flet till you mum, as they say in Manchester. Okay? So again, it's your community. I hope you use it to thrive. Okay? Yeah, it's one of them. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what's going on with that, so I have to check. So anyways, just a little update on that. Thank you for your patience as there's a transition. Yeah, I've seen it, Miles. What am I going to do about it, huh? Okay. Yeah, I'll look into it. Okay, so that's that. All right, so moving on to technical analysis. I don't think we need a long webinar today because everything is going to be dominated by the news this afternoon, right? So you may get an opportunity to skip scalp, right? Right? And then everything could just kind of freeze up while we wait. So the time of day I expect to be tradable, 8:30, right? And then 9:30, and then about 10:30, and then it should just get pretty quiet. Okay. FX ambassador milking the pound. Well, yeah, I mean, what else are you doing, right? So let's take a look around. So milking the pound makes me think, first of all, like there's a nice pound yen set up. Oh, did you launch one, FX? Yeah, good. Where'd you register the firm? Yeah, but where? Yeah, well, you have to you have a company. I mean, you can't have a hedge fund without even having a company. Well, all right, so hang on. Yeah, all right. So, for example, do you have a disclosure document? And if so, like, which law firm wrote it for? Yeah, all right. All right. So, look, whoa. You can't go around saying, "Hey, I started my own hedge fund," and then like you're not licensed, registered, or you don't. Let's say you're in a non-licensed area. Fine, but you still have to like have a legal structure. You have to have disclosure documents. You have to have auditors and administrators and yeah. Whoa, yeah. So, all right. So you have a managed program through a broker. So you started a PAM or a MAM. Okay. All right. Fine. Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Oh, you're an auditor? Oh no. So all right, yeah. Cool. Yeah. All right, well, yeah, right on, FX. That's cool, man. Right on. All right, so you got a ways to go before you can really truly say you start a hedge fund. But I think what you should be saying is you have a small managed account program. But even in the UK, I'm not incredibly familiar with the particular rules and regulations in the UK. But after a small amount of time, you're probably going to need to be licensed and registered with the authorities, so on and so forth. And if you start taking money truly from other people besides friends, families, and fools, but even really with money from anybody, you really should have legal documents and stuff. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for lawsuits, so on and so forth, all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, then, by definition, that's not really a hedge fund either, right? So, all right. So, all right, cool. So, yeah, good luck, Matt. That sounds awesome. It's better than being a bean counter, huh? The best kind of auditing is where you wake up in the morning and you count your stacks of gold, right? Like Scrooge McDuck. I am only a poor old man. No, you're rich. Well, not rich enough. All right, cool. So yeah, congratulations. That's a cool move, man. Oh well, yeah, you Miles, you should have attorneys that are specifically for the financial industry that deal with regulatory authorities as well as, let's say, familiar with structuring the corporation properly, structuring the DDocs and other regulatory required paperwork when it comes to clients, are familiar with litigious matters. If you have clients and you trade their money, you're going to get complaints and lawsuits. It's what happens. So you need definitely you need a lawyer that's familiar with all these things, and you kind of need one guy to maybe one guy does all the paperwork or gal does all the paperwork and legal structuring and all that kind of stuff and the docs. And then usually there's a litigious side, that deals with lawsuits and contracts and all that kind of stuff, right? It's not a corporate lawyer per se. Yeah, so yeah, well, so my law firm's in the United States, so I don't know, and if you're not in the United States, I don't know if they'd be much help. But yeah, there are attorneys that so just Google hedge fund attorneys Timbuktu wherever you live and see who comes up. Okay. Yeah, look up hedge fund lawyers, for example. Start there. Yeah, Nick says you found people bootstrapping themselves. Well, why? You want to start a business because you're a successful Forex trader, but you're broke? And you don't want to invest money into structuring your corporation properly and legally? That sounds weird, doesn't it? I'm super successful, but I'm broke. Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend that. I mean, I'm telling you, as soon as you work with other people and their money, it's a crazy world out there, and everything needs to be tickety boo. So so there's lawyers and accountants and auditors. So you get audited at least once a year. You have to have an outside audit done, which means you should probably have quarterly, audits done, sort of just for your own, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a lot you can spend in the United States. You could spend a couple $100,000 a year without any problems. So you better have clients, and you better make a lot of money because that's overhead. Miles, you're going to find more financial related law firms in New York City, faux show. Yeah, but mine is in Atlanta, Georgia, and yeah, they're good. They structure hedge funds all day, every day. That's their job. So, but if you have a good law firm, like things happen all the time where they have a new client comes in and says, yeah, we're a family office and, we need to structure some deals, and fine. So they start doing paperwork there and they're chit-chatting, and the family office says, yeah, you know what, we're thinking about getting into Forex. Do you know anybody? Oh yeah, well, I have a Forex hedge fund that I structured just, last year. Great people, the results seem to be good because we're part of their annual audit. Why don't I reach out to them and maybe connect you to? Boom. Okay, so you should yeah. All right, so let's go over here. So hey, Miles, are you part of the FX Street premium member stuff? Because that's the kind of conversation I like to have over there. So, bring it over. If you're not, pay the $1 a day. I pay the $1 a day. So funny. Who charges $1 a day for anything? All right. So, yeah, so there's the beast. Okay. Now, we are in the key reversal area. Okay. We're on weekly support, monthly support. So the weekly support is here, where we've double bottomed. And if you just extend just a little bit beyond the wicks, monthly support. And not just any monthly support, the monthly support. So this is conservative support up here, and this is the aggressive support. So if you're trading monthly pivots, it's supposed to stop falling here. So now we got this really tough scenario. So let me zoom in a little bit, right? And let me reset this. Okay, so now we got this issue here where will it fall further is the big question. Well, so what you're supposed to do is fib this, right? What happens if we go back up here to monthly? To monthly, in this case, now resistance. Okay. Well, then that would be too much of a fib retracement, because really what we're looking for is a 382, a 50%, right? And we're about a 618 right now. And if it's going to fall, it kind of has to fall now, or it's not going to fall. If it goes higher, it'll probably respect this, but you have the potential of ranging or slingshotting up into a full-on reversal. Okay? But one of the things I've been drilling into you guys is that, these pivots usually matter. Do they always matter? Yeah. Do they always reverse the market? No, but they always seem to matter to some degree. But, the pound yen in normal market conditions is supposed to stop falling about here. That's the projected monthly low for the month of June on June 15th. That's funny, isn't it? All right. So if we break the 55 on this hourly by using moving average theory, where do you think it's going to go? Where is it supposed to go? How about that? A double bottom, but really the answer I'm looking for, Peter, is 200, right? So yeah, but it's kind of already double bottomed, right? Off of this touch, right? So I would say it already did. So now this is called a step up, where some point soon, if we're going to break, we're probably going to break the 55 soon and retrace up to the 200. Okay? And I would actually still play this monthly pivot as resistance around 152 and just play it out so that this 200 over the next few hours continues to fall, and price kind of, let's say, comes up to the top of this range here and just kind of moves sideways. Maybe, right? That kind of stuff. And every sailor knows that the sea is a friend made enemy. Right? So, is the general idea if you're a bull. Of course, this is going to be a problem, don't you, Stink? If weekly S1 remains our bottom, and this does head up, based on pivot point theory, weekly R1 is the projected top. And I call that an inside week. Okay. So this would be the range for the week. And I've heard stranger things, but it seems like Pig's pretty beaten down. But the Leave camp in the UK got out in front of the other guys and just somehow, produced a lot of Leave polls. So you just know the stay people are they've been scrambling the last 24 to 48 hours going, holy crap, we got to get some stay polls done. So my guess is over the next few days, there's going to be a whole bunch of polls that come out and say, oh, no, it's 52% stay, 52%. And oh my gosh, everybody get back in the pound, right? And yeah. Meanwhile, nothing in reality has changed. Right. The only thing that's happened is a bunch of BS polls. Bunch of chickens running around with their heads cut off, huh? So anyways, live by the pound, die by the pound. So what's going on a smaller time frame? Let's zip this down into a 15. What's going on in the beast? Auckland took it up, Tokyo took it up, London took it up. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh, hang on now. Don't do that. Boop 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 boop. Every breaking wave. Yeah, I actually sit here. This is how I do my work on my own, mumbling and singing to myself. All right, so what do you stink? Smell like a plan? PJ, I can't tell you. It's a secret. Well, what do you think it is? Of course it's an indicator telling you the time. Yeah. You want to know what it is, huh? I can read your mind, bro. Yeah. That's power. Hey, how dare you think that about me? All right, here it is. It's what I got. Take a look under the dress. Okay. Boom. That's it. It's gone. You want to, all right? Got to buy me flowers next time. All right. So, yeah, so there we are. Kicking off yesterday's low. We've got through, we're on our way to maybe yesterday's high. And we made it. We've gone through yesterday's 3A2, yesterday's 50%, yesterday's 618. So it seems like it's more oop than down. So that's why I kind of have it set up like this if you're a bullsy bull. Daily R1 is the top. Okay. Based on that, you'd think daily S1 is the bottom. So if you're a bear now, you're going to set it up with this as a target. You notice anything interesting about daily S1 as support? So if daily R1 is the top, the daily pivot on the bottom is supposed to be daily support 1. It's also the weekly target. So is it plausible that there could be some bears in this market? Mike wants to know about pivots with the prices. Yeah, I have some pivots that give me the wrong price as well. So I don't have anything consistent enough to, right? What is it about S2 that you're unsure of, Miles? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. You're talking monthly. We're in a monthly reversal area, yes. See, I mention these things because you have to know if you're a bull or a bear. So are you going to continue to be a bear if you were a bear before? You need that. It's relevant information to know that we're on the monthly support, the support for the entire month. Maybe that makes you bullish. And if you're bullish, then these patterns, a double bottom, higher high, higher low, higher high scenario could be very interesting to you. Okay. And what if you're not in that camp? What if you're like, nah, this week's unusual, Wayne. This is not a typical week. It's not a typical month. There's money flowing out of the UK. Okay, good. So what is your trade plan then? What is it? Okay. Or what I was trying to show is, okay, so let's draw this here. Okay. That clustered with a psych level, okay, on a 15-minute chart should already have piqued your interest, okay? So it's entirely conceivable that you shorted this on the London Open if you're a bear. Like, where else are you going to short it is the other question, right? Where else was your resistance? Oh, I don't know. Now it's jam stop time because we're coming into the support, right? So this is just, oh, where did my mouse go? This is just basic price action, okay? Very, very, very basic price action. So if you're a bull now, you're getting ready to buy. Now I think it'll come down a little further, as I already indicated, but your general plan as a bull now is kind of like this, right? General operating procedures, right? As a bear, what you'd like to see is have it come down here, then you're going to short the retracement this way. Okay, just standard price action, nothing complicated. Okay. And maybe this is an unusual month. Okay. So, if you look at how far back should we go? Okay, if you're a bear, where are your sell zones? this is the logical sell zone. You're really eyeballing more like 53. And if you do that, you're setting yourself up for a double bottom at the monthly support pivot. So that's entirely possible too, right? It comes up, hits the 55, comes down, and somewhere in here I think is the monthlies, and you just wimp out here, and then we wait for Brexit next week. If you're aggressive, you're not even going to wait for the 382. You're just supposed to sell it off the 21, right? I mean, that's why we have the 21 there, right? You're supposed to sell there if you're a bear. Right? So looking at this, if you're paying attention, there's some pretty basic price action going on. There's some really nice opportunities, very, very nice opportunities. And this is one that we talked about quite a bit. That was the great op. I mean, look how obvious it is. Right? Right. So here's your top. There's your break low. That's where everyone yells hammock. Retracement into the roll reversal. And down she goes. Right? Boop. 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 Every breaking wave on the shore. All right. So that's the beast. Some nice trading there. So who else is freaking out in this market of uncertainty? So Miles says it looks obvious after it's happened. So why don't you do this? Okay, are you ready to change your life? Open up 1 hour charts, 4 hour charts, let's say 4 hour charts. And look for trends, and then look for the move that's not supposed to be there. Okay? So you can go through any currency pair you want. Let's look at 4 hour charts because they're longer term. They're basically weekly pivot setups, right? And ask yourself, is it an uptrend, is it a downtrend, or is it sideways? Okay? And I want you to look for things that have like obviously uptrend, except this week, lower low. Which means next week you're going to sell the lower high. If you see a trend that is obviously downtrend, except this week there's a higher high, the next week you're going to buy the dip. And you need to write it down. It has to manifest itself in the physical four-dimensional universe, not just electrical, chemical energy in your brain like, oh, I think I might do this maybe. Right? No. Okay? Write it down, put it on paper, stick it on the wall. You need to see it, smell it, taste it, be it. You need to live it, right? You need to, every time you walk in the room, re-imprint it, right, in your brain. That's what you're looking for. You're hunting now. And if you do that, you will find situations like that. So it's like, oh, well, it looks obvious after the fact. No. I mean, it's right there. I mean, It's because you're not looking for anything in particular. That another way of saying that is just there's no plan, right? So you can't be reactionary. So you need to be in front. You're always right. I'm always telling you how to plan for tomorrow, how to plan for next week, how to plan for the end of the year. Right? Who cares what's happening now? You should already be in the trade. So we're always looking at tomorrow, what's coming up next. So have intent. So there's that process. There's also another one that I usually have people do, and that's look for double tops and double bottoms. Okay? Double bottom with a higher high, easy. Right? Right? Double bottom, higher high. Double top with a lower low, easy. I know exactly what I'm going to do. Is it going to work out that way? I have no idea. I know what I'm going to do. So if all you did was look for that, double bottoms with a higher high, or something that's double bottoming, you could say, aha, if it makes a higher high, then I'm buying that dip. Boom! Will it go up? Well, I don't know. Who knows? I know what I'm going to do. So if you have that focus, you're going through all your charts, let's say you have no idea about fundamentals. All right, well, you're going to learn why they're important, because the times they don't work, it's because you're not doing it right fundamentally, most likely. And when it does work, it's because things are lined up and it's logical and all that kind of stuff, right? And there's also sentiment issues, there's seasonality issues, there's all kinds of reasons why your beautiful plan failed. But most of the time it should work. Why? Because that's why, I don't know, everyone else is doing it, right? So, I don't know, you have to have intent. I mean, it's almost like you have a tattoo. Like, oh, dude, what's that tattoo about on your arm? You're like, oh, well, that's a double bottom with a higher high, and I'm buying the dip. And they're like, well, that's kind of weird, and why do you have a tattoo of a hammock on your arm? Well, I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you. I got it in the Navy. Yeah. Seriously, you got a tattoo of a hammock? What's that all about? Okay. All right, so Euro Swissy. Euro's coming down. We've blown through the monthly pivots, guys. It's one reason I'm showing you that, right? All right, so let's talk about this. Okay, it's moving sideways, right? Moving sideways. Big move up. All right, well, maybe it's going to be bullish. No. Okay, moving sideways. Boom! Is that a breakout, yes or no? Okay, so we're done with this range, right? All right, so anyways. So now we come down here, and we use that as resistance, right? Oops, come on. All right, down, and we're going to use this as resistance. All right, no entry. Oh well. Just move sideways to the 21 down. So new lower low, got to use that as resistance. All right. Boom, comes down, new lower low. Got to use this as resistance. Right, went a little higher. Use the other one as resistance. Obviously, pivots were involved, right? Down, new lower low. Use this as resistance. Oh, okay. And again, as Miles will point out, oh, it's obvious after the fact. But isn't that what trade planning is? Like, you don't know if it's going to do it, but and you guys see me do this every day, and this is how I behave. Every time it's a lower low, I say, oh, well, okay, well, based on that, this is probably going to be resistance in the future. So the thing is, can you wait 24 hours to sell here. And yes, sometimes it only comes up here. Yes, sometimes it comes up here. But the thing is, what's your trade plan? Do you have a limit order somewhere with a stop here and a target way down here, right? So the difference between after the fact and before the fact is the trade plan. And what I suggested in my book is that you see it with your mind's eye. And if you can see it, you recognize it's happening. Right? But you have to see it before it happens. So you should see with your mind's eye, like, all right, if this comes back to here, well, first of all, is that a reasonable retracement? Oh, it's 50%. Oh, there's a pivot in there. All right, 108.50-ish. All right, that seems to be the right type of place. Okay, right? Just seems like 50% retracement, roll reversal with a midpoint psych level and a pivot. Why not? And ideally, in a situation in there, I would like it to hit a moving average. I would like it to be more overbought. And then on even a smaller time frame, I'd like to see an oscillator that is also rolling over. So at that time, this oscillator was just, it looked like this, right? It wasn't down yet. But on a 15-minute chart, it did. It rolled over, and you're like, all right, so I'm going to take that, and that's going to be a front run of this. And if I get it, I should be able to be short this at least one day. And so now you've seen it in your mind's eye. It hasn't happened yet, but you've created it. And if it starts to happen, because you're creating it down here, guys. All right? So up in here, you're on a 15-minute chart, and you're like, well, since of all these other reasons on the higher time frame, if the 15-minute rolls over, then I want to sell it because I can see it rolling over. So if only this was overbought and falling, right, when I'm up in here. And if so, right, I want to drop it like it's hot. Now, what I preach is you sell the 5/8 cross. Okay? 200 is not really relevant. It's not, I don't like, I've always said that the 200 is not an entry, it's a target. So it was a target for these guys, but it's just another reason that the bulls got out. Okay, so if you were a bear, you know, looks easy in hindsight. Well, why was it complicated if you had a trade plan? Where did it get complicated? Oh, well, somewhere up there you expect it to collapse. So you saw a reversal pattern. Oops. Right? A lot of people will call that a reversal pattern. Then you got a 5/8 cross. Oscillators lined up. Remember, it's way overbought on the hourly. Right? So it's like, that's not hard if you were planning it down here. Right? I hope it goes up here. I hope it goes up here. I hope it goes up here. If it goes up there and rolls over, I want to be short. If it goes up there, I want it to roll over and go short. If it goes up there, I want it to roll over and go short. Holy crap, it's over. It's rolling over, right? It should be like a slap in the face. Like, what was it that you were waiting for? Right? And then it's just like, oh, well, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want. I mean, of course, you could argue and say, well, it only went up to 48, and I wanted it to go up to 50. Come on, dude, right? So what you're looking for is someone else took the shot. That is someone else taking the shot. So, right, so here's what Miles is saying. We shouldn't sell at the 200. Bears and bulls are at equilibrium. That's what I teach. Yes, but this is a trigger. What's the plan? Talk about strategy, because I've dropped out of strategy here. This is tactic. What was the strategy? I'll give you a hint. It doesn't exist on this chart. bearish bias. Well, no, something I covered 4 minutes ago. Higher time frames. Okay? Here's the strategy. I want to sell at the future 21. I want to sell at the roll reversal. I want to sell at the pivot. I want to sell at the midpoint psych level. I want to sell there on that, right? On that moving average. I want to sell when it's overbought on this time frame. I want to sell, and now you got all this stuff and you're already, on multiple time frames, 4 hour, 1 hour, probably even daily. There's midpoint psych levels, roll reversals. I mean, there's like all these reasons to sell, right? Now, why is it, do you think, we got a giant reversal pattern right in that zone where there's 9 reasons to sell? Because the whole entire market just randomly freaked out at 104.40 or 108.44? Like, that's just randomness. That's a random walk. The value of the euro Swiss franc, 2 major currencies, completely reversed just before all of that, just random? Or is it possible these other players, because I don't believe it's one player, these other players had trade plans on the 4 hour or the 1 hour? Is it possible they said, well, you know what, I see this as a roll reversal. If it's overbought at the London Open, I think what I'll do is throw down a link before the psych level to make sure I get in. And then I'm going to drop it like it's hot. And that's my trade for the entire day. Which one is likely? Complete randomness, or somebody 8 hours ago, before they even went to bed, had the trade plan of like, oh, I wonder if I could sell there at the London Open. Right? So this is where you're like, holy smokes, I need to change everything that I'm doing. Because this random walk stuff is horrible. Sometimes I'm a winner, sometimes a loser. It just ain't working out. I'm all over the place. Versus like, oh, well, why don't I just do that? Right? Well, what do I? And it's funny when it clicks, because sometimes it takes 3 months, but for most people I know, it takes somewhere between 3 and 30 years to figure it out. And one day you wake up, you're like, holy, why don't I just do that? Right? And it's just this big mental, emotional breakthrough. And you're like, oh, well, it's so, yeah. So what's happening here? So let's talk about Euro Swiss franc. Money's coming out of Europe because their economy sucks and they face this huge risk coming up. And people are putting it in their Swiss bank accounts. Huh. Well, that's funny. And if Brexit goes where the UK stays, I would imagine at some point the money would flow out of Switzerland and go back into investments. Okay? Oh, Eric says, but aren't we ignoring the times it didn't well, yeah, so that's what the trade plan is, right? So what if at London Open we're thinking, all right, it's going to fall, it's going to fall, it's going to fall, and it doesn't fall? What if it just does this? How much money did you lose today? You sat in front of this Euro Swiss franc for 8 friggin' hours and you never got your entry. Or you took a shot maybe right at the psych level because it looked, you got this little green and this little red candle or something. But, you know, what you should be looking for are reversal patterns, even on like a 1 minute chart, right? Like on this 15-minute ultra conservative, what I call a spot trade, all you're actually looking for is the 5A cross. This other stuff's irrelevant. Why is this relevant? You've already made your plan. Oh, well, I'll have to wait for the market to... Come on, dude. No. You're watching the market on the 4 hour. You're watching the market on the 1 hour. You've already made your decision to sell. You already know the price and, you know, the price area you're interested in. If it falls somewhere around 108.50, right? You can write all of this out. The middle of the pivot point, because of the role reversal of the price action, so on and so forth. Ideally, when the oscillators are overbought, oh, it's overbought on a 15-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour. If, under all these circumstances, I get a reversal pattern 15-minute chart, I short it. And it could just be a 5A cross. But what about the 5-minute chart? You're in your zone. You're like, I want to sell the 5.8. 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 Well, there's your 5.8, bro. Okay. Bear in mind, you had 20 or 30 minutes to be ready for that. It's not like you're quick on the draw, like boom, boom, I'm faster than you. It's not the quick and the dead. Yeah, half an hour, right? And then even within that move, again, yesterday you're thinking, wow, up here I'd love to sell, love to sell, love to sell. Oh my God, lower low, right? 50% retracement on the 5-minute roll reversal. You know, I mean, at some point, it's got to be so obvious that you take it. Now, it's not obvious if you don't have it planned out. That's the point. So what I say is you plan it out in your mind's eye. You draw it out on paper if you need to, and you probably should. And then when you drop into this, if you get your entry, you take the shot. Of course, if it does this up to the 5-minute 21, up through the pivot, down to the pivot, roll reversal, up, down, roll reversal. I mean, did you get an entry? No, not if you're a bear. Because it keeps making higher highs and higher lows. Meanwhile, you're like, if it makes a lower low, oh my gosh, I am going to be so short here. It's going to be redonkulous. It's going to be like a flood. Yeah, well, Rob says if you're bull. I'm saying the plan is bearish, so I would look at that. I'm like, is this going to be bearish? Is this going to be bearish? No, it made a higher high. Oh, well, maybe it just needed to catch that midpoint psych level. Maybe there's some new orders to bring in. Oh, no, it went back up again. Missed it. Wrong team today. And you just realized you sat there for 3 hours and you didn't get it. No, Miles, print out the chart and draw the next 24 hours worth of price action if you're on a 15-minute chart. So your chart might look like this. Let me do like little candles, right? These are like hourly candles, let's say. Oops. All right, so that's what the market looks like, and you say to yourself, all right. Ignore this stuff on the right, okay? Okay. Sorry, there's so much drawing on there. Okay. So if the price action is like this, and this is what it looks like when you go to bed, what's your trade plan? Literally print it out with all this space to the right, and then with markers. Of course, you could use, like snag it, right? Let's do it that way. So I use snag it. There's all kinds of things. Right, so you could say, higher. Okay. So you can leave a note, right? And then you can draw a little arrow and say, oh, that was ugly. Okay. And then, let's just say, I think I have to put this to JPEG. Get tape ping to JPEG. So let me just make it easy to find. Zzz. That should be good. All right. So that's one thing you could do, right? And then, if you wanted to, if you're logged in, it says, hey, share your Forex trading ideas. I wonder what that means. Okay, there's my zzz, right? Test, trade, plan for tomorrow, whatever. Category, all these categories are going to change, but let's put it Forex trading idea. This is where I will document all my trading thoughts and ideas here. What is it? Euro, Swissy, short trade plan for today, whatever. There it is. Okay. See? Test trade plan for tomorrow by Wayne McDonell. Isn't that nice? Yeah, sure, Grace. Anything for you? I wasn't going to, but since you asked. All right, so now you have a community in which you are empowered to help yourself and help others. And if we collaborate as a team, then I think we all can win. Will you share your ideas? You know, and that was a piss poor trade plan, right? There's no details. I didn't put any details and thoughts. It shouldn't just be an image, all that kind of stuff. You should write it down and have some details. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay? So hopefully you participate, right? And without further ado, I said maybe we're going to keep this short, but it seemed like a full webinar. How's that, huh? So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being on my team. I do appreciate your loyalty. See you tomorrow.